Hi everyone, today's video is all about starting the Camelot Foxglove. And the reason I love the Camelot Foxglove is because it blooms the first season. Now beware, it is a hybrid, and if you do have it come back the following years, it will not be true to the parents. But this is a beautiful foxglove, and I am starting the lavender, the white, and the rose. And later on, I will start some Dalmatian peach. I need to order it, and I'm going to do an interesting mix of them in the garden, a bunch of peaches, so I think that'll be pretty. But first of all, we want to get these going. Now, these packages contain 50 seeds per pack, and they are in a little vial in here. They take 21 days to germinate. You need to start them 10 to 12 weeks before your last frost. So this is a good time to get them in here in February, because otherwise I am pushing it. I like to have fairly full growth on them so that they're a robust plant going into the ground. And of course we have to harden them off as well. So we're going to start these today. And the first one I am going to start is the rose. The rose is absolutely gorgeous. And because I have a scheme this year of pinks and purples that are going to be going on in the garden for my containers and different areas, I want to amp up my game by having some of these beautiful bell-shaped flowers in the garden for the pollinators to enjoy and for cutting this year. I am using the premium Jiffy seed starting mix. That is my go-to. You will see that in all my videos going forward. I've tried other mixes, not as happy as I am with the Jiffy. I've already mixed it up with boiling water in a container. I add perlite to my mix. You can see it here. And that gives it some aeration in the soil. Nothing likes to be slopping wet. And this is already moisturized. You can see really nice texture to it and not overly wet. As well, I'm going to use a little fine dusting of vermiculite on top of the soil. Just beware, foxglove like light to germinate. So you're going to sow the seed right on top. So I'm just going to very carefully put a little bit on there just for damping off purposes. Doesn't this look beautiful? Nice rich soil, easy to work with, not a lot of twigs or bark in it, which is what I prefer for seeds starting. Now I did start a whole pile of foxglove seed last year. They were the biennial variety that I started. So this year, I am hoping to get some blooms off them. The plants were gorgeous in the garden. They got nice and big, just no blooms, which is to be expected with the biennial. Hollyhocks respond the exact same way. And then if you don't disturb the soil in the spring, each year, eventually, you will have an abundance of the plants in your garden, which is what I want. We want to fill in those gaps, keep the weeds down, and have a lot of flowers so that we can cut them, bring them inside, and give them as gifts, as well as let some go to seed so they come back every year. Eventually, you'll have them every single season by doing that method, and that's totally the goal. So I'm just going to fill up this tray. There's only 50 seeds per pack, so I'll probably mix 2 different kinds in this tray. I think those should be really pretty. I've never tried the lavender before, so I'm kind of excited about that one. We're just going to tamp this in a bit, and then we'll come back and add some more since these are sewn right on top. And if you hear noise in the background, Rob's working on a project in the living room. Yeah, we'll just come through and top dress this. And the key to doing this is to make sure that this soil doesn't shrink down to the point that we have to come back and top up after the seedlings are up. That's the key here. Let's have a look at how small this seed is. I'm going to open up the rose. I usually order my seed from Johnny's Seed when it comes to foxglove and rare varieties of zinnias, because I find that they have the variety of foxglove that will bloom this first year. So you can see there how small those seeds are. Thank goodness they are coated with clay, so they're easy to work with. And I am just going to use my finger and pick them up one at a time and drop them in. And really all I have to do is wet my finger down and put them on top. And just make sure I don't miss a spot. I think I missed a row. Right here. I don't see any. All right, so those are all in there. So I'm going to mark, I made my tags in advance, so I'm going to mark the rows right here. And where I ended up with the white, which is right here. So we're going to start white right there. Put a little bit more in the middle. I love white in the garden, as you all know. And here they are, so tiny. And I think these will be beautiful having some white in arrangements. Just the shape of these is nostalgic for a cottage garden. So you can see them there. I'm just going to push this out. And I'm just going to do the same thing again. Just drop them on the soil and move them over a little bit. And I already put my label in for the white, so I know the difference. Some of these seem a little broken, like that. I don't know if you can see that, but I think that's just clay. So, whoops, that one, let me put that one there. So when you see the clay break like that, sometimes it's not a seed. Try to get these out of the corner a little bit. And these ones, you want to make sure you try to get one in a cell. Now I end up with two in a cell there. Okay, that's that tray done. We'll do the next one and then we'll come back and put the vermiculite on top sparingly. So I'm going to start the white on this end here. All right, that is all the white in. So where the white stops, I'm just going to put, in the next slot, I'll put the lavender tag. If I can find it. There it is. Next slot over, so here. So I got a seed right there. Make sure these are in the slots. And now we'll do the lavender. And there's the lavender. This is the one I'm most excited about, I mentioned. And you can see them all. And I'll just quickly put those into place. I'll come through now and I'll dust it with a bit of vermiculite, just really carefully because they like light to grow. So I'm just going to give them a very light dusting. It won't take much. The ones I grew last year that were biennial did really well. They got nice and thick. I put them by the gazebo. Foliage was nice, green, and lush right into late fall, but of course, no blooms. So remind me not to come through and mess with that area too much until I see some plants up. Otherwise, I'm just going to undo all the work I did if I weed and I accidentally remove them. So that wouldn't be cool. All right, I think that's enough on top of these. Some areas got a little more than others. And we're going to come through, and I have my trusty water jug here. And I tell you guys, the pump makes a huge difference. It really does protect the wrists. And up really nice and high, then you don't scatter so much. And because these are on the soil surface, I'm giving them a little bit more water. And of course the dome will help. And that's it. They will go on the grow rack under the grow lights, and I will check them every few days to see how they're doing. If the domes get too wet, I take it off and let it breathe. And I have a timer set up on the grow rack for 16 hours to give these light, so that should help. And hopefully we'll have some seedlings in 21 days. So thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you haven't tried the Camelot or the Dalmation Foxglove, give it a try because it's wonderful to have blooms the first season. Bye everybody.